Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today we're playing e4 as per usual. Our opponent is going to respond with e5, knight to f3 here, knight c6. Oh, we see d6. Okay, a Philidor, so we're going to play d4 and take... Okay, this is so far... Oh my goodness, takes. Bishop c4, give me knight f6. You know you want to play knight f6. Oh my goodness, this is exactly the opera game between Paul Morphy and the Duke of Brunswick and Count Isard. At Bellini's opera in 1958, in which the best move was queen to b3, where he attacked the pawn on f7 and put pressure here on the pawn on b7. This is a kind of outdated way to play the Philidor. I can't believe our opponent still played it. This is like probably the most famous game in all of chess, the opera game. It's known for being so famous because it is a beautiful example of Paul Morphy's absolute genius. It ends in an extremely flamboyant way, and I mean, hello. This is just, and that's what I mean. Paul Morphy, he's got a lot to teach you. You know what I mean? Count Isard and Duke of Brunswick, about 200 years ago, they at least played queen to e7 and then knight c3 and c6. But here we just get checkmate. I mean, our opponent wants a rematch. I am down to give them a rematch after that absolute slaughter. Wow. We will go for... We'll go for Alekhine's defense. Alekhine's defense. Hopefully, yeah, we tempt them forward. Go on. We're completely switching up the playstyle now. Playing a hyper-modern opening inspired by Alexander Alekhine, who was one of the Russian world champions in the year... I should really know this. I'm going to say like 1930s, something like that. But we see d4 here. We are going to go for g6, bishop g7, and kingside castles. And this is like a completely different way, like historically speaking, to play chess. We are going to go for knight c6, put some pressure on this pawn. This is a hyper-modern way where basically we concede the center, which was considered just absolutely, you can't do that. I mean, hello? This is just a free pawn. And then, I mean, we could take with bishop, but actually I kind of want to keep my bishop. I'm just going to take like this. And we're just up a pawn. And the point is that we overextend their center. It was considered completely like you just can't give your opponent dominant control of the center up until, I think Wilhelm Steinitz came around in like, I'm going to say the really late 1800s. And what he decided was, actually, we don't need a completely dominant control of the center. We can play more positional chess rather than tactical, romantic, insane chess. I still very much prefer the sort of, 19th century Labordonnais, Morphy, Adolf Anderson kind of chess. However, this is certainly also an interesting way to play. That's why I have like a balance in my repertoire of historically different opening ideas. But right now we are a pawn up, and I'm thinking we are going to attack. We're going to be extremely aggressive in the center here, pushing the pawn out. Probably I could have played bishop g4. That would have maybe been a good idea before I played f5, actually. That might have been a bit rash. But honestly, I'm thinking we just go here, go for e4, claim a bunch of space, beautiful little pawn chain. And I do have to be careful of this, but again, the bishop is defending that, so I'm not so worried. Could I do this? You take en passant though. But then maybe I go... Oh, here. You cannot take en passant, because then this pawn disappears, my bishop and my queen attack the knight, and we win the knight. So en passant... Oh, we're going to take with the queen. We're going to take with the queen. We get a free piece. Oh yes. Resign maybe? I mean, it kind of feels like a resignable game now. We are just up a bishop, and we have an absolutely gorgeous little pawn chain here. This pawn's falling. We can just take this backwards like this. We don't need to move the knight. Take this pawn maybe. Okay, now our opponent's just hanging all their pieces. Resignation. Now they want another rematch. We're just going to keep playing this guy. Go on, give me your Philidor. Give me your same Philidor. Come on, give me the opera game again. They don't go for it. We take in the center here though. Opponent is playing some weird looking openings. We're going to stick to our very standard developing idea with queen d2 and castling queenside. And the idea, I mean, okay, look at this. Opponent has taken 1-2 and 1-2 moves to develop two pieces. They've taken 4 moves, like 2 moves per piece, which is not really what you want to be investing your time in. Blocking in your bishop. It's like, yeah, you're developing your pieces, But actually, is there a need for your knight to be here and your bishop to be here? Maybe, in fact, the knight could be on f6, the bishop could be on e7, and that would have been 2 moves rather than 4 moves invested. And all we're going to do to these 2 pieces is use them as targets. And what I mean by that is we're going to play f3, although I didn't even need to play f3. Generally, I play f3 because the knight's on f6, and we want to play g4 without hanging it, but we can just throw these pawns at the opponent now. Absolutely ruthless stuff. They will not have time to get their own attack going. They develop the knight, okay. This is not hanging, but it could be hanging after c5. So we're just going to play bishop e2 to stabilize the bottom of this pawn chain. On an absolute roll right now. I'm kind of just waiting for this guy to tilt. I mean, he's probably already very tilted after 2 such quick wins. But we've got everything developed. Very stable little pawn structure going on here, and we're going to play h4, h5, maybe g5 at some point. And that will be, I think, all she wrote in that sense. Now, you can take this pawn. The engine might say that this h4 move was a mistake, but honestly, if you take the pawn, that's just going to open my h-file, and I'm going to say thank you very much. And, okay, they do take. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play knight f5. If you get a knight on f5, it's also commonly referred to as knife f5 because it's such a powerful piece, and if they take, we can take like this, opening the g file as well as the h file, hitting the knight. Yeah, this is nice. This is so nice. The knight just goes back. That is so sad. That is so sad. Okay, what are our ideas here? We want a rook on the g file, which honestly, there's no reason not to do now. Rooks on g and h, absolutely beautiful. We want a knight on d5 probably. That seems very doable. We could also play f4 at some point. We're also lining up the idea of bishop h6 to try and exploit this this pin here. It's like already, I mean, we're a pawn down, but the compensation that we have in our attack is unbelievable. So bishop f6, we're going to go for knight d5, putting pressure on that bishop, jumping the knight into the center of the board. Beautiful stuff. And is the queen trapped? Takes, queen takes, bishop g5. This is just absolutely ruthless gameplay. Absolutely disgraceful gameplay. We're probably going to see resignation here. The queen is just trapped. And there was no ability to... Oh, wow. Nah, but we just take. You take my queen? Oh, I guess I'll take the knight. Or, checkmate with the rook and the bishop. Another rematch. We're just going to keep playing this guy.
3 hours later.
Yep, that is just game. King e4, the knight is pinned, it is attacked twice. Bellissimo, now we take. Yeah, a simple mistake from our opponent. Kind of forgivable that they've made it though, and they resign. And they want another rematch. We've just beat this guy 4 times in a row. I mean, we're going to keep going. Okay, we're going to play bishop d3, although that does soften up g2 a little bit. And then I guess knight c3 defending this. Now they can't play any move like f5, which I think is kind of a bit of a spicy idea. We'll go knight f3, just develop all the pieces. We've got the center. Probably I can play e5 here. But honestly, I think bishop f4 also makes a lot of sense. Because I want to go bishop f4, queen d2, queenside castles, and then h4, h5. Use this hook here in front of where the inevitably castled king will be. I guess they could castle queenside, but I don't think that makes so much sense here. Queen d2, will you go e5? That's probably what d6 is preparing, right? Wow, they attack my knight. They attack my bishop like that. I can just go here though. That was kind of the whole point. Build up this battery, dislodge the bishop. I think we're gonna do it. Bishop h6. Knight's now kind of on the rim, not very, not very well positioned. Now we take. Oh, it's gonna be another quick win, guys. It's gonna be another quick win. We're gonna play g4. Unless you take with knight. If you take with knight, it would be interesting, but they take with king. Now I'm gonna play g4. The knight's gonna step back. Do I play g5? But then the knight goes to h5. Oh, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I think I might just castle. Because if you take here, that's just an open file for me to attack with, right? You've got to assume that it's actually not that bad to give up this pawn. I'm gonna castle. We're gonna hang the G pawn. Why not? Hang the G pawn. Oh, they don't even want it. H4. Go on, take my G pawn. I dare you. Take the pawn. I dare you. We're gonna go for H5. Here? Yeah? Maybe? It's gotta be right. There's no fork because the queen holds. We are trying to open this and go in here. Obviously the knight currently holds that, but I'm thinking we can easily remove that knight with a little rook G1. Okay, we're gonna go rook G1, I guess. Although then there is takes. No, there is not, because then we just take here. Okay, we're going for rook G1. There is no takes because we take this knight. This attack is probably not very objectively sound, but it's definitely interesting with the rooks on the H and G files. The annoying thing is going to be if he plays rook H8, we might be in some trouble. Wow, stepping back to defend is interesting. Surely we can play something like E5. I'm not even gonna think about E5. I'm just gonna play it, unless we want to take this first. Because now they are threatening to take. Like E5, they can take. So honestly, we're gonna take first. Now, just officially, we have removed our pawns on the H and G files. Now I'm gonna go E5. I think is the right idea. Just breaking open, attacking the knight, using the bishop, rooks here. And if this knight moves, we are sliding in here. So I could play knight here. And I think I'm going to. Bang. Maybe I should have played pawn. Maybe I should have played pawn takes, because then we kick this knight. But then maybe the knight goes to H5. I don't know. I think probably either move was decent. It's kind of weird because if you go here, I go check. The king moves and I take, and then if you move this knight, I take on H7. So we're definitely doing well there. So they take the pawn. I noticed that was hanging, but I really didn't think it would be a good idea for them to take it, but maybe it is. Takes. Knight takes. Tell me this works. Guys, I've just come up with something absolutely disgraceful. Check. The king takes, and not only have we sacrificed the rook, but then we sacrifice a bishop with check. And after king takes, or the king doesn't even take, but now, the point was, if the king took, we pick up the queen. Okay, so here we are in the analysis of the first game. That was insane. Rook H7, Bishop G6, what a way to end it, winning the queen there. I'm so happy that I saw that tactic. I mean, what a beautiful move. But what I'm going to do now is basically just really quickly go through the analysis of each game and pick out the, brilliant moves and the blunders. And, well, if there were blunders, I haven't actually looked yet. I don't want this video to be absolutely hours long because it's going to take me 5 years to export it and I want to upload it tonight. So we're going to kind of rush through them. So the first game, if we scroll down here, you can see 92% accuracy. I'm not exactly sure why that's not 100% accuracy. 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders. The point is the E4, E5, Knight F3, D6, D4 is, if we look in the Masters database, Philidor defense, and then Bishop G4 is really not a popular move at master level. It is considered inaccurate because we takes, queen takes, pawn takes, bishop c4, knight f6, queen b3. This is as Paul Morphy played in the opera game, and after the knight comes here, opponent just blundered mate in 2. Even if they played king here, this would still be checkmate. That's why I pre-moved it. But yeah, just a perfect game. And a nice little 9-move quick win to start us off. Obviously, opponent kind of blundered this, but the rematch is where it gets interesting. Okay, so second game, you can see here that it was quite accurate, but actually there was a blunder here that gave it back. We sort of built up an advantage, played the opening relatively well. Obviously, white just maintained their slightly better position from the fact that they go first. Then we built a bit of an advantage, and then one move, which was apparently E5, was actually a blunder. Really? I guess they didn't have to make that mistake. Let's just go through the game quickly. So e4, knight f6, and e5. If we turn on the master's database again, you can see that this is all theory, the normal variation. Knight back, d4. It says inaccurate, but it's book theory. We've had 140 master games here. And then I go g6. I should have taken, which is kind of interesting. One sec. Takes, and then what? Then g6. Okay, I mean, fair enough. g6, knight c3, think out the bishop, bring the knight in, and here, yeah, they just hang the pawn. We've overextended, we've drawn out the pawn structure very nicely in the center. They give up the pawn, we take back, and then we go castles, f5, which I think was the best move. Okay, it also really likes e6, but it considers f5 very strong as well. Okay, then after here, we go e4, knight here, and apparently e5 was a bad move. The point being they could go knight here, because after takes, what, I'm not just completely winning this? Queen e7 and I just win the pawn, no? Knight here. Oh, and if I go like this, then you can take here. Oh, okay, I didn't see that. And if takes, then at least this is temporarily reinforced, so that does look a little bit scary. You can probably form quite a reinforced structure here. So, okay, that makes sense, but we, of course, did not see that in the game. Instead, what we saw was on Passant, an obvious blunder where we can then just take, and then our opponent proceeded to sort of rage, give away a few pieces, and then resign. In the third game, and arguably the best game, we can see 94% accuracy with only one inaccuracy. Let's go through it quickly. I don't know, actually, would it have been the best game? It might be the most accurate. e4, e5, knight f3, and we get this normal scotch where they actually go for d4. And you see here, as I said, they take a couple moves to develop each of these pieces, rather than just playing knight f6 and bishop e7, developing them both in two. And you can see, by this point, I've already got a really nice advantage. I could have gone for knight d5, exploiting this earlier. So that is the only inaccuracy of the game. Then we go f3, g4, defend the pawn, h4, yeah, knight f5, takes, knight back, rook g1, bishop here, best move, best, bishop g5, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely brilliant game, and then taking here, of course, being checkmate in one. I wonder, could I have taken here and still mated? I think I probably, oh no, because at some point there's going to be knight to g6 blocking that check, but yeah, we get the checkmate in one. Opponent could have taken the rook, but then we take here. And they have to go for knight g6, otherwise they get mated, because this is not enough. Oh my goodness. And then if we look at this last game here, we can see 92% accuracy, one mistake, but that's completely forgivable given that it only went from +2 to basically +1. Let's go through it from the start. So e4, and we saw b6. We went for this pretty standard idea of developing, and bishop f4. Okay, I could have claimed more advantage with e5, fair enough. I went queen d2 and bishop h6, takes, g4, knight back, castles. Okay, they could have taken the pawn. We go h4, they take, h5 best move, rook here, bishop back, takes, e5 takes here. Oh my goodness, and the problem is that after queen takes, yeah, you've got to play this. You've got to play this, because then after rook takes here, there's knight takes, I think. But after knight takes, we found the brilliant rook h7, king takes, bishop g6, and of course if the king had taken, we'd have taken this, but either way, we are taking that queen. What a finish to those games. One excellent finish. That is so cool. If they had taken with the bishop here, then we could have gone queen h6, and after the king moves, I guess we move the knight in, threaten this, and if at any point you take, we are then either taking this or taking this. Probably like, I mean, or we can go here. And if takes with check and you go here, then we can go here. Okay, absolute mess, but a completely winning game. Just really nice to see that rook h7, bishop g6 move. What a game. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed playing those games. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't want to take ages on the outro here, so I will see you tomorrow for the next video. Leave a comment. Do all that stuff that helps the channel. Bye.